He goes out of his way to be late.
I know, right? Fucking high-ass black man. Anyway, hey, one, everyone, this is part 2. Uh, don't know what the fuck happened. I'm gonna assume it's outbound until, he proves his innocence. Or down
What?
corner.
That's not how it works.
Yes, in my court it does.
Go fuck your court then. I'm perfectly neutral on that issue. Outbound, down corner, you're innocent until proven guilty in my mind.
You're awesome. That's pretty cool.
Well,
Where is True? What the fuck?
he's probably just has the munchies. I'm sure he's going down the street to get some chicken. I'm sure he'll be fine.
No, they somehow figured out how to
What the
preemptively
hell is going
snipe
on
people.
here?
I'm not kidding. This is my second T.G.I.F that's been fucking sniped. I'm not playing.
Well, you
There's
got
some
sniped that
fucking
one
bull-
Sunday night. You remember when I was on with you? You got sniped.
Yeah, well, yeah, with Casper. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
The
You know,
hell?
I wonder who could have done it.
Yeah, it's almost as if I have a personal mortal enemy.
It's almost like there's some overly sensitive asshole out there who has the mental capacity of a child in the physical body of a grown-ass man.
Hey, that wasn't
Exactly.
me. You talking about me? That wasn't
Yeah.
me.
Fuck
Oh no,
you.
down. Oh,
You're the
down
exception,
corner in
Steve.
them. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm confused.
No, we're not talking about them. We're talking about you, Steve. You fucking.
Let's talk
piece
about
of shit.
you and me.
No,
Yes,
let's
we
not
have a lot
talk
of
about
mental
me.
midgets in the
Let's talk about you.
Well, hey, Randall liked my tweet. Cool.
Actually, never mind. Yeah, let's talk about me.
I tweeted Dr. Rand. I said wanted to say thank you very much for your time to join us in our hangout. It was an absolute pleasure to have you as a guest. I liked it. That's cool.
Hey, Wojty, if you had to do a part 3 of this.
Yeah, it was weird listening to one of your hangouts without someone calling someone else a cunt.
Yeah. Nah.
I have some mellow hangouts.
Well, we do, but it's like, we cuss at one another back and forth, but mostly in terms of endearment. Like when the modster or somebody of his ilk joins, like, sure, we'll tear into them a bit. But
Nothing like that ever really happens here. It's rare that a Christian joins one of these hangouts. Besides Christian
Steve had Rev News join us hangout a couple days ago. I was hoping I would get home in time to join because I haven't spoken to Rev in quite some time, and I like talking to with Rev.
Yeah, he pops in occasionally. He's rare, but
Yeah.
Well, you
He's
know
a
what?
really good guy.
You guys
I
won.
think his music crazy, but he's a really, really cool guy.
oh
What?
yeah, that was really cool. I think with all the drama with Nev.
Well, hold on, Steve. What's Atheist Ranger?
I said if Steven the doctor wants, I can invite Antonio.
Do it.
Fletcher.
Please, because I
Yes.
sent Antonio a
Do it.
private message.
Fletcher.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was.
He won't come. He won't talk to me.
He won't come in here.
Don't
but
tell him you're. Don't tell
You
him.
may
you're
as well
big
invite
out.
him if you want.
I mean, I
Steve,
can't.
hide behind Doctor.
I've had my back and forth with him. It's been a while. But
Yeah, you and I had a back and forth thing on abortion, didn't we?
yes, we did.
I mean, I want to talk
And whether
to
or
him.
not a baby that didn't have a brain was conscious or not.
I
God.
know.
He's so militant on that. He doesn't understand. Matter of fact, he even went as far to say that him and Ronnie corrected me on a human zygote being a human when I did a straw poll, and 95% of people, including everyone that has a degree in biology or related field, except for two, all said a human zygote would not be referred to as a human.
Hey.
Well,
Get
a
him
human
in here. I wanna
person or a
talk to
human
him.
being.
Get him in here.
I don't know if he's
That was
actually
a fun
going.
thread that we
I
had.
don't
I mean, the guy, all he wants to do is lick freaking Ronnie's taint. He doesn't want to talk about the issues. We've been trying to engage him the many times. Matter
I
of
don't
fact,
want to talk about the issues either. I just want to talk to him.
well, he won't join. But I'm just telling you, I used to like message him and say, hey, we're having a hangout about this, blah blah blah, and he always took that offensively. Like, why are you tagging me on this? It's like, because we want your input and talk to you, and maybe we're talking about you and giving you the right to defend yourself. The guy just doesn't fucking get. And then he does these videos on fallacies and gets them all wrong every time.
With regards to that, I actually sent him a message that, like, in the last couple hangouts and videos that he's made, or hangouts he's participated in, he's made some very bad, like very common but very important mistakes with regards to particular things. And I offered to either do like a public or a private hangout, whatever he wants, on his channel or mine, where I could address the mistakes he's making. Because, somebody comes into the room and he does have a bit of a confirmation bias that he isn't aware of. So if somebody agrees with his theological views, he's more likely to agree with them. And when Darwin's deity says that evidence is just all relative, well, he's going to agree with it when evidence serves a particular role. Or when he gives his explanation of what the genetic fallacy is, he's actually wrong on what the genetic fallacy is.
He did get that wrong, didn't he?
He did, because he gave an almost, I wouldn't even be right to say a half definition, because he said it's dismissing an argument based on its origin. It's like, no, that's not the genetic fallacy. You could say something is true in virtue of some aspect of its history that's ultimately irrelevant to it. Or something is false in virtue of its history that is irrelevant to it.
Yeah, he doesn't like the fact that the sources he uses are not credible sources, and he just wants to throw out, oh, it's a genetic fallacy to dismiss what they say. Like, no, it's not. I'm sorry. There's a lot of things on ICR that I'm not going to take seriously. And if somebody just says, well, I'm going to quote you ICR, I am going to provisionally dismiss it until they cite me a paper that they're citing, right? If ICR says, okay, this is the case, blah, 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 and here's the paper I'm citing, then just don't cite me the ICR thing. Cite me the actual paper they're citing, right?
Well, okay, this is an example of when we ask for evidence and we're talking about the context of science, the expectation is you provide scientific evidence, and that can be a paper from a scientific journal if you want in support of your claim. ICR is not a scientific source. Even if they are referencing scientific sources, they may be misrepresenting it. So we realize that ICR is a political group that isn't a reliable source material.
Or they even think
yes, it may be true what they're saying, but you need something in addition to that source to corroborate what they're saying. Because let's put it this way: I have a master's degree of Masters of Divinity from the ICR, and it took me all of 3 weeks to get.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I then went out and got a doctorate of divinity from one of their associated websites in a matter of a couple of days. Like that is how unreliable and uncredible these people are.
What do you have to do for it? What does it entail?
I had to lie, basically.
Well, besides lying, I mean that's a given. But what would you have to do?
I had to submit a statement of faith saying that, oh, Jesus is my Lord and Savior. Yes, I had to give some money through PayPal, which was actually my boyfriend paid for it. I didn't. And then I had to basically take a test. And now I have a Master's of Divinity from the ICR.
That's fucking retarded. No,
there was some reading material done on it.
It's brilliant that you were able to do
what
that
is
and show how
explained
easy
in
it is.
Genesis 1:1?
By the way, I should probably mention this before I forget. At midnight tonight, I don't know if he meant his time or our time, but at midnight, True is doing a Shermanation.
Oh, awesome. Did he say he's going to invite people?
Yeah, he's inviting all of us.
Awesome. Then, yeah, we got like 14 minutes.
But that's if it's our time. I don't know if he meant that. Because
what does
if
he
he
do on
meant
a
his time,
Shermanation?
it'll be 3 o'clock in the morning for us.
I don't know what your cracker jackass thinks by your time.
Is that when he just
My
goes off on
time's different than
somebody on
your
a rant?
time.
Oh, wait,
Hold on, Steve, what the fuck again?
Is that when he goes off on somebody on a rant?
No.
Yes, just real quick. Stonis, you said
Zang-
it was his time midnight?
I have no idea.
Oh, all right. Well, never mind. I was about to say something about Antonio. Oh, yeah. The last hangout I saw of Antonio's, he actually agreed with Darwin when he said the whole extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, and I laughed my ass off when they said, well, says who? I'm like, really? You're going to go in that fucking direction, dude?
It's like...
I was explaining that in the side chat. Well, you see, the argument that DD is fond of right now, which is what I meant earlier by I'm pulling a DD, is I'm walking my dog, a Darwin's deity.
Oh,
But his whole shtick right now is that what constitutes evidence is what supports our preferred conclusions.
That's what he's calling theory laden.
Yes, that's what he thinks it means for something to be theory laden, and then he extends that further to say that all evidence is theory laden, which it
Yeah, because he
isn't.
misunderstands what the hell theory laden even means.
Yes, but
yeah, I don't even know.
That's what Darwin does though. He gets this weird misunderstanding and then he runs with it and thinks he has like a deductive argument for it. And it's like, no, you fucked it up from the beginning because you don't understand these terms.
you would have to be functionally retarded to fuck it up that bad.
He is functionally retarded.
Like, I think he genuinely like picks up something, reads it, and then says, "Ooh, I could probably spin it to mean this."
You think it's more deliberate?
I think he is deliberately misrepresenting it, because if you bring up like what are Coombs' views on theory laden, he's going to hit
Thomas
a brick wall. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I think I said Coombe or Hume, and I was like,
No, Coombe.
yeah, Thomas Kuhn. Yeah, I've read up on that before.
Thomas.
Was it on Firebrand or something like that?
I was reading about how people, when you have like a scientific theory, that people will try to have a pushback against it. That it's natural for scientists to run their own bias to have their own their own subjective things on various hypotheses to try to not see the chinks in the theory as they build up over time. It's like a pushback that they have, a cognitive bias of their own hypothesis or their own propositions. What's that?
Cognitive dissonance.
In a way,
yeah, but
it's more of a cognitive bias. It's a cognitive. They take their presuppositions more than what the evidence is showing, in order to not falsify their theory.
see, that might be actually where he misunderstands it, because he reads, maybe it is, he hears presupposition, or he reads presupposition and thinks, ooh, foundational beliefs. Because he's
it has nothing to do with foundational. Yeah, no, the term presupposition there has nothing to do with foundational beliefs.
Oh, I know it doesn't,
Yeah.
but I think maybe that's because he doesn't understand those. Maybe that's what he takes it to mean.
Well, I think he does the same thing that Ronnie does. Ronnie is really infamous for that too. Ronnie will read something and he'll butcher what he's reading to no end. He's not competent enough to understand what is being conveyed by the text. And instead of asking anybody,
well, Steve, everything you just said there is falls prey to the inner solipsism of solipsism.
My point exactly. But instead of going to somebody who may not know, like for example, I mean, I go to doctor often. I'll be like, hey doctor, hey, can you help me with this? Blah blah blah. I'll go to somebody that I recognize is much more informative in these things and can able to help me out with it, right? And he lacks the ability to do that. I don't think he's ever asked anybody for help in this community. Just to learn something ever.
He
and
used
yet
to
I
ask
do it
Jack
all the time. I go to
actually.
people quite frequently.
Darwin's deity used to ask Jack for help on his arguments a lot.
Did
Part of
he?
the reason why he hates Jack so much. Yeah.
Oh wow. Was that like in the beginning of
Their pal talk interactions, yeah.
Well, that's probably why Jack, is so able to easily, just readily dismantle Darwin.
Well,
So
yeah, because
I
he's
mean,
been
just-
feeding him the information. Like, look, okay, here are the mistakes you're making. But it's like the arguments that he makes are pretty well unsalvageable.
Oh, by
Like
far.
to quote Alex Malpass, this isn't a sinking ship; it's a sunk ship.
Yeah.
Because it's like I've had two serious interactions with Darwin's deity. One was with Joe on the nature of time, and the other one was strictly presuppositionalism, where I just granted him everything of his argument and said, okay, my worldview in its current form is unable to account for these things. So what? And he
You
was
heard it
just
here. They don't
woefully
care. They don't
unprepared
care.
for that. Where it was like, well, you're just unreasonable. No. I obviously can reason. I may not be able to explain why it is that I can reason, but that doesn't negate the fact that I'm able to do it.
He's the same guy that thinks the Munchausen trilemma is just stills down to one horn.
Yep, it's just an infinite regress.
That was the case. They wouldn't call it a trilemma.
He still holds to that.
I know he does. And that's the most goddamn stupidest thing I've ever heard. Well, I mean, does he just not understand that there's a reason why they call it a trilemma, and many smart people, much smarter than him, have realized that that's what it's going to boil down to, not freaking just circularity. You know, because he thinks everything's going to be circular, and that's just perfectly fine. And yeah, if you want to accept pains of circularity,
No,
that's
because
okay.
the one that he accepts is infinite regress.
No, I think
he says in the video
sorry.
of him specifically with the Munchausen trilemma, the first one at least that I've seen. I haven't seen any others, if there are any others.
No, because
he says it's the middle one, which is infinite regression, and I think he's answering it in that's what somebody without God has to resort to, if not circularity.
Well, that might be true, but as far as you know, with God, it distills down to circularity.
So who's the brony? I thought I was the resident brony here. Are you replacing me, Atheist Ranger?
You've already been replaced.
Nah.
Blackjack replaced you a long time ago as a brony.
Yeah. Blackjack reviews, man.
He has a PhD.
Yeah, but his PhD is legit. I mean,
yeah, mine is just fucking fake.
Yeah, when he gets going on his religious stuff, he definitely has a history in this. He knows what he's talking.
Who are we talking about?
Blackjack reviews.
You.
And you. And Stalinist being replaced by another brony.
They're gonna be only one.
Fight
well,
to
we
the end.
should have the Stalinist brony and the atheist brony have a one-on-one debate.
I've done shows with atheist brony.
Mm.
On what exactly? Like, morality is objective or subjective. I know what Stalinist is going to say. I know what the atheist brony is going to say.
Wait, what am I going to say for one?
You're going to say morality is subjective.
All right, what's he going to say?
He's going to say it's subjective.
Okay, you're probably right. Because I think morality is subjective.
Well, you're fucking wrong.
I'm not fucking wrong. I'm fucking right.
I'm just being contrarian.
I think
it's a combination. I say this, not a true dichotomy. And
I know you say morality is subjective, and some of these people go through the fucking roof, right?
Yeah, I know.
You cannot have subjective morality. You must have objective morality, and it must be a giver for it. Because you're just an object critical.
Well, when they said, I just played the Euthyphro dilemma when they bring that up.
Oh man, Steve, I'll see if I can find the video of the Nadia hangout where I was explaining to Veckel my meta-ethical views. Because he's like, is ethics or is morality objective or subjective? And I was like, well, it's a combination of both. And he just had nothing to say to that.
I don't think it's a combination of both. I think.
How can it be a combination of both?
You know what? Because there are ways you can state things that would be objective morality, and I'm okay with that. But I would say that overall morality is subjective. But I can definitely think of statements that I could say, like Ozzy has one. What is the one he uses all the time? It's killing babies for fun always wrong?
That's Matt Slick.
Oh, maybe no. I think they both use it. But I mean, whether it's objective or subjective, does it really fucking matter? It doesn't get him any step closer to divine being, given the a moral code.
Well, it matters.
I posit that there's
showing prescriptions and proscriptions of behavior.
I think there's no objective morality, and B, there's no need for objective morality. I think we can create a better society on subjective morality. I think we've done it so far. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Of course you are.
I would go into an explanation of it, but I know that would make like Atheist Ranger's eyes roll into the back of his head as he slowly slipped into a coma.
No, go ahead.
He really fucking hates.
What's going on tonight? Helena Handbasket is having one with Dio and Tom. Dio and Tom discuss some event, likely drama-filled hang. It's got Joe and it's got.
We need Mac in here. Actually, no, never mind. I hate the guy. Never mind. Every time I talk to Mac, I go insane.
Oh, what? Oh, I know fucking Mac. I've seen him in Wolf's Hangouts. He is just a fucking headache to deal with.
Who the fuck is this guy? Bring him in here. I want to talk to him.
No, never mind. Forget I brought him up.
Fuck no.
Come on, dude. You gotta bring him in here.
He doesn't listen. He just asks questions, and he
No, I
asks
want to
them
ask him questions. I want to be like, so,
Yeah.
do you
He
believe
doesn't-
in your
he doesn't
magical
like to
sky
answer-
daddy?
he doesn't like to answer them. He just likes to ask them, and
Well,
that's
guess what? I'm gonna make him answer some fucking questions. You know how I'm gonna make him answer questions?
Oh.
That's the only way that conversation's gonna go anywhere because I'm too high to answer questions.
I go so far as to say, like, Mac is worse than fucking G-Man.
Is he really? G-Man's awesome though. I love G-Man.
Mac
Yeah.
Thomas? Which Mac?
I don't know his last name, but he's got an avatar of himself from behind.
So how many
Yeah,
times have you
that's Mac
talked to
Thomas.
G-Man, Atheist Ranger?
Mac Thomas, unfortunately, he's not exactly the dimmest in the short bus, but he's definitely goes riding along with the short bus. I mean, he just makes so many goddamn mistakes. He paints himself in a corner. He's been caught in so many contradictions. Although I did get him to admit one time with who was it, admin for teacher, that there was no dinosaur, or there's no evidence of dinosaurs of the Ark. He still agrees, or he still believes that there were dinosaurs on the Ark, but he himself admits that there is no scientific evidence to support the notion that dinosaurs were on the Ark.
How about there's no
basically-
scientific
Well, hold on.
evidence
Shouldn't you?
to fucking demonstrate that there's an arc period?
Well,
One
yeah,
step,
exactly.
one step at a time, baby steps. Baby
Yeah.
steps, you know.
Like, we don't have evidence of a worldwide flood. We've never produced any parts of this arc, and all the ones that were produced ended up being fabrications. So how do we even know this arc even existed, period, let alone that there were
Simple, use
dinosaurs?
a time
in it?
machine. You build a time
Oh yeah, let me
machine.
just pull one of those out of my ass.
I think a lot of
The
people would be
doctor has
disappointed
one.
if they
What are you
built a
talking
time
about?
machine. You know, they went back 6,000 years and there was no flood, and or 5,000 or whatever it is, and they go back millions of years and actually see these animals that we have fossils for. I think they'd be severely shocked. You know,
I don't think they'd look anything like we think they'd look like.
No. There is a way to do it actually. In theory, obviously, if you would travel faster than the speed of light, you can look backwards in time. If you had a powerful enough telescope and pointed it right at the Earth, you would actually see if there's a flood or not. So it is possible to look back in time. It's just not very practical.
Or use a wormhole.
I do believe that there are wormholes per se, but they're very, very small. I believe that most wormholes are going to be only on the Planck scale, and it's only going to exist between entangled particles.
Well, you know,
Big enough to
well,
look
there
at.
is there is a new theory that tries to explain quantum entanglement.
Yeah, that
No.
uses wormholes, but that's on the Planck scale, right?
Yeah.
This shit
So how
is
do
like
we going to utilize that to actually go back in time?
Oh, we'll find a way.
Dustin's a big advocate of that.
this shit. Just like every time we start talking about this shit, I can't help but think like every time all the movies tell me that if we start fucking with this shit, it's gonna get fucked
It's going to open the doorway from hell.
or something. I
Satan
don't
will be
know.
unleashed in the last days. This is how. CERN, the doorway to hell.
Oh, speaking of CERN, you know, just this little stunt they tried to pull like a few weeks ago. Filming a sacrifice. What the fuck was that about?
Oh yeah, I saw
Oh,
that.
I don't
What
know.
the fuck,
I know what
dude?
you're referring to. Yeah, why would they make these matters worse by staging a stupid satanic thing? I'm assuming they were just fucking, wanted to mock people. People take this shit very seriously.
Yeah.
I get
They're like, holy shit, dude. They're doing a Satanist.
We're
ceremony.
right. Look at this. We
CERN.
got them dead to rights. Praying to Shiva.
Being, I don't want to say, like coming up with, I don't want to say stories, but what's the word I'm looking for? Never mind. Moving on.
Barf.
Echo.
Goddamn dogs. Shut up.
Fuck your dog, dude.
Whoa.
My fucking dog.
Yeah, that's not what I meant, dude.
I'll make pork chops out of your dumbass.
Who, me?
No, but my dog.
Oh.
It's not my dog, but the dog here.
Like, I don't think I'd make a very
People.
good pork chop, yeah.
Sure.
Oh yeah, Atheist Ranger. Did you see my new bowl?
So many what?
My new bowl. It's chameleon glass. It's gonna start changing color.
Oh, nice, man, nice.
Wait, who the hell just left?
I don't know.
Oh, I think I. Oh, hey, can you, hey, Atheist? I don't want to say this on the air, but can you read the? You can read the group chat, right?
The outside chat, yeah.
Oh, you mean inside?
Yeah. I think I may have known how the leak, how they got the snipe link.
Ow.
Oh,
Enlighten us, Steve.
I typed in the side.
Just just so you know, I found this.
But he
I guess
never
I-
joined the hangout, so how did he get the link?
Yeah, he was.
I didn't see him join the hangout.
Well, he was in there.
See him either.
Oh wait,
And
wait.
he-
Isn't
he-
this?
and he runs with him.
Isn't this open house? Or is it closed?
And it's closed.
Well, I got in because because apparently Atheist
You got
Ranger called me.
invited. Yeah, you
Yeah,
got
you got
invited.
Yeah, never mind. Good enough.
Hang on, I got an idea. Wait,
invited
I got an
you.
idea. I got an idea.
that's not the Sydney I invited. I invited A Sydney, the asking atheist, the good dude.
Yeah, he rolls with them.
Yeah, he rolls with them.
Oh, I
He's
didn't
like really
fucking
tight
know
with
that.
them.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn. Thank you.
So
I didn't know that.
wait, hold on. Did somebody?
Didn't you
Come in,
see
they
him
wasn't
in
supposed
the
to?
when I joined Down Corners hangout?
I must have forgot, honestly.
Yeah, and he just left the hangout, the other hangout that we were in. So just be aware.
Screw that Jew then. I don't even know who the hell I'm talking about.
I don't either, dude.
Well, these people have no content of their own, right? I mean, they have no ability to even run a hangout or even talk in a hangout. They're so goddamn stupid. So their only thing they do to get excitement is, oh, I'm gonna go around sniping hangouts because I have nothing to add to any conversation because I'm a
What?
fucking moron.
Who the fuck is talking about me?
Well, no, I was just
It's
reading
not
your.
always about you, bro.
Not
Exactly.
you.
It's not you. It's not you. It's
It's all
me.
the
It's
talk.
not you. I thought this would be a
Fuck
great
you, Steve.
relationship, but it's not you. It's me.
I
I got
hope we can
Shut
still
the
be
fuck
friends.
up.
Anarchist.
That's why you always tell somebody, no. You know what? It's not me. It really is you.
The fuck is a Christian anarchist?
He's a Christian who's an anarchist.
He was running a hangout, but I guess he just ended it.
Well, the Bruni Stalin, I'm gonna follow you to the ends of the earth.
Oh shit. This is
We call it
did I wrong
stalking.
you at some point? Like, is this a revenge thing? Like,
No.
you gonna like chop off my head or some shit?
I'm curious to know how the doctor came to the conclusion how morality can be both subjective and objective when humanity doesn't, when the universe doesn't give a shit about humanity. So.
Well, it can be a combination of the two. In that,
I'm
the
just
view-
interested. Go ahead.
I don't know if anybody else in the hangout wants me to delve too deeply into that because I
don't,
did briefly
Johan.
with
Yeah,
I did
I don't
briefly
want
with
you to go
Steve.
deep.
Yeah,
You always go too deep.
Well,
Steve
I like
asked
it,
me
but-
that once, and he just complained like, "Oh, you always make it too complicated." And I just kind of jokingly said,
Well, you're
that
the
morality
doctor,
isn't
of
a
course.
simple
Of course,
topic.
you're supposed to go. You're supposed to explain it to, insane.
Well, the easiest way of explaining it is via analogy of like a game. Like, just think of a sport game like tennis. Tennis is ontologically subjective. It entirely depends on our acknowledgement of the game and the rules. However, we can make objective statements about people who play the game of tennis. If someone's not returning any balls, we can say that person is a shit tennis player. What we are basically
that's a
doing
short
is taking shared values and attitudes that are shared universally among all people and reifying them and giving them an almost concrete existence in the world. We're anchoring them to something that we construct
Who the hell
so
just
that
came
we
in?
can then make objective determinations about certain actions. So it is a combination of both
So if
objectivity and subjectivity.
So if you had, let's say you had like 10,000 people playing a particular sport, and the person that was the 10,000th per person, you would be able to say that that person is probably not very good at the game, right? Would that be
Depending on
objective,
how they're
or-
playing? If they're obviously violating the rules, like if you're playing baseball and you're not running along the baselines, you
Yeah.
are objectively
Yeah, let's say they're
playing the game
violating the
wrong.
rules. Let's say that, yeah, they're fucking up the rules. They're, big time, right? Because I mean that the rules are subjective rules, but since they're violating them, we can actually say objectively that
Well,
That they're a shit
that's-
player.
what?
And it isn't even culturally relative or individualistically relative, because it is based on the shared attitudes of all humans. If you look at all of human society as a whole, we all share a collective human history that has shaped how we behave with one another, the ends that we want, and values that we all collectively have. So yes, it really depends on our acknowledgement of it. But at the same time, we can make normative statements about what we should or should not do.
I don't know. To me, to me everything still seems. Anyways, moving on. I'll think about it later.
Exactly why. I was like, I don't think we want to go into this.
I told you. When he goes deep, he goes balls deep.
Well, he is gay. So there you go. At least I think he is. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, he is. He has
Yeah, you were in that hangout when I had that awesome talk with Mac Christian.
Yeah. Jesus.
Wait. Tell me about this. What happened here?
My God. I was getting pissed off.
I was just taking the piss out of Mac. And I was just triggering him.
Wait, is he like, I don't know who that is.
You don't want to know who he is.
I do want to know who he is, so we can invite him in here.
Imagine G-Man, except he got held under the water in the bath a little too long.
What the fuck? Let's bring him in here. I want to talk to him.
Stone is Bone, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he was in Wolf King's last hangout.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, dude.
Yeah, so come on Sunday.
I always do.
I'm
after
trying
church.
to decide what the topic is going to be Sunday. I think I want to make it about the debate, but I didn't watch it that much. So,
So
you all have
fuck
any
it.
idea?
Let's make it about how much of a fag you are, because that's
Okay, I think it's safe to throw your ideas out the window.
okay, no, it's not, dude. It's not okay to do that.
Yeah, yes, it is, because everyone in this room, besides you, knows that I'm just awesomeness reincarnated.
No, you're a fucking faggot.
All right, let's see.
See, he couldn't even stand to tell you how much of a fag you are, so he had to leave.
Oh, you're all fags.
You and me are the faggiest people here.
The
Wait,
only time that word is
faggier-
appropriate is during rough sex.
Faggier than doctor?
Yes, you and I are faggier than the doctor.
All right, if you say so.
The faggot is not a gay person. A faggot is you and me, dude.
One of the best stand-up routines I've ever seen was probably Louis C.K. talking about how he can't say certain words anymore because they're deemed politically incorrect. One of them is faggot. The other one is words he hates. He just goes into, and he says, things I hate are like the N-word. And there's a pause, and he goes, not nigger, by the way. I literally mean the N-word. Because saying the N-word puts the word nigger in my head, and you're making me say it while not taking responsibility for saying the N-word.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, like the word faggot, if people use it, doesn't bother me, but there are times where it's like Papa Saw was equivocating faggot with pedophilia, and it's like, okay, no, you need to
You're
stop
doing it
that.
wrong.
Yeah, dude. People who confuse, who try to do faggot with pedophilia are fucking idiots. I'm sorry.
Well, he was like simultaneously conflating being gay with being a pedophile with being a Muslim.
What? What?
Well, okay, what are the mental gymnastics one has to do to reach to that conclusion?
Muhammad married Aisha when she was 9.
Okay.
6.
He was
6 and he
betrothed. No,
No,
he was betrothed to her when she was 6. He married her
Yeah.
when she was 9, which, given the cultural settings, isn't actually that atypical.
But
I heard he married her at 6, but waited 3 years to have sex with her.
No, he was betrothed. He was promised to her at 6.
Oh.
And then married her at 9 when she could perform marital duties, which includes
Antonio. Wow, that's pretty stupid. Antonio compared homosexuality to someone cutting themselves.
I don't know. I would love to just be able to look into that guy's mind and see like the logical connections that he draws, because the one time I remember Bina Berry said in the side chat, I'm not pro-abortion, I'm pro-women's rights. And Antonio took that and went, well, if you're pro women's rights, you must be pro-rape. It's like, what the hell is the connect? What is your train of thought? I want to know how you connected those two. Not to insult you or anything. I'm just fascinated.
That's the exact opposite of what the.
Exactly. It's like, how the hell did you get there?
What the fuck?
Okay,
He just did
no.
a 180.
He cannot be that stupid. He has to be trolling every fucking
Oh no,
time.
he is that fucking stupid.
No, there's no.
Like, I
He's
love
turned.
Antonio. I love Antonio to death. He's a nice guy. He tries his best, but he's fucking stupid.
Do you know if he smokes weed?
No, he don't.
He does.
No, he don't.
He's fucking baked.
Okay, hold on. Just
is
because one smokes weed, one's an idiot. What's your excuse?
I'm.
Oh wait, you are smoking weed. Sorry.
Yeah, I am smoking.
Well, we all know Stalinist views, so
I'm very pro.
they speak for themselves. So apparently, I'm an SJW Muslim apologist, according
You are
to
a
Stalinist
Muslim
Bernie.
apologist.
I am no such thing.
You are a Muslim apologist. Stop apologizing for Muslims.
I do not apologize for Muslims.
You apologize for Muslims. You fucking
I
SJW.
not.
You regressive left fucking cunt.
You regressive, less social justice warrior, feminist Nazi.
Yeah, that's what you are. You're fucking. I can't believe you like. Listen,
Apart
dog,
from
I like
like,
you.
the
You're a
things
smart
are
guy.
like,
Okay, shut the fuck up.
I'm a
Shut the fuck up.
leftist and a feminist, and that's about it.
Shut the fuck up. I like you. You're a smart guy, right? But the shit you said in that hangout was so fucking dumb. I wanted to punch you in the face.
Okay, what he say and what hangout and go ahead.
He kept like straw manning Reese from the Nightmare Fuel podcast, who was basically saying that when
I know him.
Yeah, he was.
And I also know Hagbard. Me and Hagbard.
I know Hagbard. I've talked to Hagbard. But
Yeah.
Reese and Atheist Ranger were debating, and Reese was basically saying that when you when you bring up Christianity and Islam together without pointing out the direct differences, you're basically implying an equivalence, and which is kind of dumb, but like at least I thought. But the doctor was arguing on points where he was just strawmanning the shit out of Reese. It was
No,
bad.
I was pointing out that if we were to compare them, all things considered equal, like all arbitrary factors are controlled for.
Okay, I want to ask you something, Stellan.
They're both shit.
What is a straw man?
A straw man is when you argue against a position that the opponent does not hold.
Wouldn't that be? Wouldn't it be taking somebody out of context?
No,
No,
not
it's
necessarily.
not. It would be like if imagine somebody debating a young Earth creationist on evolution. They go into an explanation of what evolution implies and what it explains. And then the person comes out and says, well, you're saying that you evolved from a rock. It's like, nobody fucking said that. Nobody holds that position.
See,
That's what I
I
meant.
posit that
It's a direct misrepresentation of the individual's position. It can
That's
be
what I was-
intentional or
yeah.
unintentional. But the point that I was driving home was that, look, arguing about which religion is worse is, quite frankly, in my view, silly. It's literally arguing about, which is more evil. No, they're both
that's
fucking
not,
evil.
That's not the question. That's not the question. The question is, which one's more of a threat?
And that's
Is Christianity
a matter of
more of a
perspective.
threat, or is Islam more of a threat? And Islam is the correct answer to that question.
In what respect, though? That's another problem.
In
Is
every
like,
respect, it's like we got people. The refugees come in. Germany brought in like 2 fucking million of them. Okay, 2 fucking million of them it is known that when you bring in a lot of Muslims into your country, they resist integration at every fucking turn. It doesn't matter what.
They lie to
not
you.
really, because
It
we had
didn't work with the
that's another
Turks, it
issue
didn't
that
work
I
with
brought
the-
up, actually. Because
it
in
didn't.
my country, I volunteered with the integration of the Syrian refugees into Canada, and
Anecdotal, I don't care.
they assimilated quite spectacularly.
Yeah, anecdotal, I don't care. We
Exactly,
observe this.
and
We
that's
observe
no
that
more
they have
anecdotal
trouble
than
integrating.
saying, well,
The Turks have not integrated properly into Germany, and they've been there for decades.
Well, I wouldn't expect them to. And then part of the reason is also surprising to me is because Canada is a cultural mosaic where we actually put an emphasis on preserving people's cultural attitudes. But we do tell them and teach them why and what is impermissible within Canada. But apart from that, yeah, we'll celebrate your culture. So part of it is like, it is anecdotal, it is perspective, but also if we're just talking about the integration of refugees into regions, there's more factors to consider than just simply the religion. And unfortunately, too often those are neglected. People want to take the simple answer out and go, well, it's just the religion is the bad thing. It's like, no. If you get if we got a shit ton of like Nigerian immigrants into Canada, guess what? They're going to probably be beating up gay people, given enough of them.
Yeah, but what drives them to beat up gay people?
The thing that drives them is a combination of both cultural and religious upbringing.
Exactly.
I don't say it's religion.
The problem
by
with
itself.
Islam is
Because the way I look at religion is a tool like a hammer. You can either do great things with it, or you can run around and hit people in the dick with it.
Ow.
Yeah, but Islam has always been used in the latter. Always.
Not always. Well, sure, always if you ignore the golden age of Islam.
Even during the golden age of Islam.
During the golden age of Islam, Islam was one of the most progressive cultures in the entire world.
It doesn't matter. They were still in the fucking dark age.
apologist.
I don't care. It doesn't fucking matter.
Well, they are an apologist.
Like in modern day, yeah, Muslims, by and large, if you were to look at everything, Muslim communities, Muslim nations, are the shittiest. They're the worst off. They're the most backward, fucking crazy ass, ignorant people in the most violent.
Exactly. And then we want to bring in citizens of these countries.
But the problem is, I don't solely attribute that to the religion.
But there are actions that they take that can be solely attributed to their religion. Like hanging gay people from cranes. That could be solely attributed to their religion.
As opposed to burning them at stakes.
Yeah, but the Christians don't do that anymore.
They don't do that anymore due to secular influence.
Exactly, but they don't.
Muslim nations didn't have that kind of secular. Well, they did have a kind of
They
secular.
did, but they don't anymore.
They did, and then unfortunately the Soviets fucking marched in and fucked everything up.
Yeah, but sure, you can place some blame on the Soviets too, but
Like,
it doesn't
it's
matter.
not
The religion
point,
is still
the only
a
point that
huge
I drive
problem.
home is it's not as simple as people try to make it out to be, and it's just like, look, we have two shitty ideas. Instead of like arguing about which one is the shittiest, how about we try to raise everyone up and bring them to like the proper level of understanding? I know Muslims who think
way
that
to
I
do that is
I
to
know
put,
Muslims
like,
who
2
think that I
billion
should be killed, and I know Muslims who think that I should be celebrated, that I'm doing nothing wrong, that I'm as Allah intended, and they
that's
have their own
fine.
interpretations.
That's fine, but the problem is Islam
I think like
is
let's
hard
at
to
least get them
interpret
to
in
that
any other
point.
way, so less Muslims do. There's a
Christianity is
lot of,
hard to interpret in any other way too, and so is Judaism.
but we
and-
kicked. But the difference is the political component of Christianity and Judaism have been utterly neutered in Western society. Islam has not had that type of reformation.
Great.
Reformation. They
So it's
have a
neutered.
political.
Let's politically neuter the religion.
We could do that, but we can't do that by bringing in 2 million of them into our country when they're not yet to that point. They will try to corrupt our political system. There will be terrorist attacks. There will be a cultural clash. The cultures are just too different.
There may be, but like the fundamentalists are the ones that are going to go out and kill people. Like the Syrian refugees may think that like, oh, I'm an immoral person or that I deserve to be killed, but they're not going to fucking do it. Part of the reason is that the Quran actually says if you're in a country, you need to adhere by that country's laws.
Yeah, but everyone cherry picks their religion, so they could just like ignore that, and they do.
Well, they do, but people cherry pick the religion, but that's a big one. It's almost like
the problem is for the percentage of the percentage of violence in the Quran is way more than the percentage in the Bible. So there's a lot less to pick out.
That depends. If you were to do a side-by-side comparison on the kinds of atrocities that we would consider either justified or unjustified between the Bible and the Quran, most of the passages in the Quran are unjustified. But there are actually fewer that are unjustified than the Bible, and part of the reason for that is because they do accept Jesus as a prophet for teaching the golden rule, but that Muhammad went further with his revelation in saying that there are times when violence is required, and mostly it is in defense of your family and loved ones and the faith and all these other things. And they have basically almost like a primitive version of the rules of war.
Yeah, no, we watched a video on Islam is cancer,
but then they were further like expounded upon by Salah ad-Din, who, for all intents and purposes, was a remarkable man. Mostly for his treatment of like prisoners of war. Like you couldn't torture these people, you couldn't deprive them of basic necessities of food and water, or even really restrict their movements beyond the camp. Like, sure, you had to escort them around, but they're still people and they deserve to be treated with respect.
Yeah, Saladin was a cool dude for the time. So what? You're distracting from the issue. It's a red herring. I don't care what Saladin.
I don't understand how it's red herring though.
It's because I don't care. We're not talking about them. We're talking about now.
You not caring about. Well, if we're talking about the topic of Islam in general and the history of Islam is relevant,
not talking.
It's by no means a red herring to talk about how it's been applied. Like the shit that ISIS is doing and the shit that Al Qaeda did actually runs full on contrary to very, very clear instructions of the Quran that are not up for interpretation. There is a clear distinction between martyrdom and suicide.
But the amount of Muslims that sympathize with these groups is insane.
Yeah, it is.
Normally, you wouldn't sympathize with any terrorist organization unless you had some fucking, You had some ideological reason to.
And that ideological reason doesn't necessarily have to be solely religious, is what my point is.
It's not solely religious, but the religion's a huge part of it.
Yeah, it acts. My position is that when people go out and do these horrible acts, religion acts as the justifier for the actions. It allows people the excuse to do horrific and terrible things. And if you were to get rid of that justification, it would be incredibly difficult to compel people to go out and do these awful things. So we should focus on getting rid of Islam in general.
That's my point.
That's the point that I make. But just flat out blame the whole thing just doesn't make sense to me.
No, we can blame a lot of problems on Islam. We can blame a lot of specific cases of violence on Islam as well.
On Islam is my issue.
That's not what I'm positing. I'm positing that we can blame a lot of these
I know that's not what
Islam.
you're positing, but that's what, like, Reese and what Papa saw.
No. There's the straw man. There's the straw man.
Well,
when did he say that? When did he say it could only be attributed to Islam and Islam alone?
When I specifically mentioned that, look, it is a contributing factor in the calculus that people engage in before doing an action. He said, no, it's just the religion.
No. Because I've talked to him and he said otherwise.
I know, like, I'm hesitant about it, that this is a topic that excites people's emotions and excites their passions. So I'm very hesitant about, like, issuing blame about either direction on the issue. Like, ultimately, you and I both agree on this.
Yes, and I'm sure you and Reese agree on it a lot too. It's just that in that debate,
we do. It's just that we agree for different reasons.
Yeah, but I found that I just thought during that debate you weren't arguing your position very well at all. I mean, I found my own problems with Reese and Atheist Ranger and their argumentation as well. Like, I felt like I disagreed with everyone in the hangout on something little. And I kind of wish I was there, but I was camping when it happened.
Yeah, well, I think that's probably why, is that we probably had a lot of people talking at once. We were trying to get everything out. And besides, that's one of my weaknesses anyway. I don't articulate very well, unfortunately.
It's also kind of the superfluous issue. Like, one of my favorite criticisms that people get is like, "Oh, why don't these internet atheists talk about Islam?"
I talk about Islam all the time.
Well, it's like, I know Stalinist does, but it's like, you do realize that a criticism of God in general or of Christianity is by proxy a criticism of Islam.
It's a proxy criticism of the theistic part of Islam. I do think there's a strong demand for internet atheists to cover the specifics of Islam as well, like, because there's a lot of key differences in how you're supposed to apply your religion from Christianity to Islam. If you've read the Quran.
I have a few different copies that they all have different translations, so I read them all, and it's like I read them side by side, and it's like, I don't know what the fuck to make of this. I can give you 3 different interpretations of the same verse, but
yeah, but like, I'm just saying, we need to focus on tackling the specifics of Islam. I'm a huge fan of the Masked Arab, who does that in both English and Arabic.
Yeah.
So you can, if you're not subscribed to him, subscribe to him. Free plug.
I don't know. Most of my issue is where it's like people steer away from the religion itself and start attacking the individuals of it.
Well, that's another thing though, because I fully agree with, not with like attacking like the personal character of individuals, but like attacking the specific ideas that certain individuals hold is a great way to sort of.
Well,
argue.
Yeah, attacking the ideas of an individual is a great thing. Go for it. But attacking an individual because they're Muslim is no. Don't fucking.
I mean, like, I don't know what I can criticize the idea of someone being a Muslim. Like, if you're a Muslim, I can be like, I condemn the fact that you believe in Islam. Like, it doesn't matter what your interpretation is. I still don't agree with this, and you understand what I'm saying?
No. What I've been trying to do actually is see if I can get my buddy to join one of these hangouts because he's an imam.
I want to talk
to
to him.
yeah. I was like, I'm pretty sure like Ranger and Stalinist and Steve and everybody would love to tear into this guy because it's like also his mosque supports like the Pride Committee, the Gay Pride Committee, and it's like, you know what? I've read the Quran. I don't know how the fuck he makes sense of it. He's tried to explain to me before, and I don't know how the hell he makes sense of it.
What I want to do is I want to get him one-on-one in a hangout, right, and just sit him down and be like, "All right, convert me to Islam, go," and then just see what he does.
The immediate thing would be like that. I'm not here to do that.
I know you're not here to do that, but do it anyway. Because if you can't convince me with your arguments, then what's the fucking point of even showing up?
Well, he doesn't even believe in human free will. Just a good beginning point.
To some point, I don't agree with. Or I don't think there's free will either. Like to some degree, like I don't know how to explain my position while in a talk shit state. So I'm going to back off.
Well, he's a strict determinist, and that he thinks that everything is causally determined by God.
Okay.
Okay,
well, I wouldn't agree with that, obviously, but
yeah.
So wait, if
that's
everything's
probably how
causally, hold on, if everything is causally determined by God, that means God, God rapes, kills, and does everything through humans.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
God doesn't rape because he doesn't have a physical body.
So he lets.
But no,
humans do it.
yeah, basically, God constructed a world in which he sent pedophiles to rape kids.
Sounds like a nice guy.
Yeah, great guy.
I love him already. I feel like I can smoke weed and play poker with him.
It's a very weird view that he holds, and it's not a standard view by any means in Islam. But it's interesting to talk to him about.
Has anybody here seen Tree of Logic? Or heard of her?
Logic tree?
No, the Tree of Logic.
Yeah, that's her. That's what her YouTube name is.
It's Logic Tree's like little sister or something. I don't know.
It's the tree that Adam and Eve ate from that they weren't supposed to.
Oh, cool.
I guess that's why she's named herself that. But that's what she's named.
No, but I never heard of her.
Oh well, she's got a good video of saying that Islam lies to non-believers. So so even if a Muslim is your friend, he's actually pretending to be your friend.
You see, I actually like that particular reference because there is a verse in the Quran that talks about you are permitted to lie about your faith, but it's only like in a situation to save your own life, like pretend to convert to Christianity and then run back to
no. You can still be Muslim, but you can lie to non-believers. You can be like, oh hey, I'm your buddy.
Yeah,
it's
I know.
okay.
Well, like I said, the second half where I say people think that it's such a meaningful thing, where it's like, oh, the Quran says you can lie to unbelievers. Where it's like, if you read it in context, it says specifically to save your life or to save the life of others and stuff like that. But there's nothing barring anyone of any other religion in any meaningful sense from lying to believers, especially in Christianity. Why? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Great. Sins absolved. Back into heaven.
Right?
So it's just the same stupid shit, just rehashed. Except just said a little bit more explicitly.
Excuse me. Yep.
That being said, there is actually a group of Christians who think that if you are not actively sinning, you are sinning.
What?
Okay, that makes.
How the fuck does that work?
How it works is that you accept Jesus as your savior, that Jesus died for your sins, and the atonement of your sins. So if you don't go out and sin, you are basically unconsciously expressing a lack of confidence in the existence of Jesus and his sacrifice.
Okay, that's fucked up.
Yeah, so you need to go out and sin as much as possible
Oh, okay.
in order to be a true Christian.
Hang on a sec. I actually have something that I want to share. That was posted a while ago. Hang on. Where is it? Where? Oh, right. Here we go. So who wants to read? Or am I reading? Hello?
Sorry, I'm baked.
All you.
Oh, okay.
I'll read it.
All right.
Hey, Pastor, if there is a God, then why did he allow me to be molested when I was only 10 years old? I kicked and cried for God to save me, and he never did. Where was God, Pastor? I need to know.
Bro, that's deep shit.
My
Who
question
knows?
is, why did Matt
that's some
say
pretty deep
that?
shit.
My question is, why did Matt read that quote out in the tone of Burt Reynolds?
Dude, it could have been a blessing in disguise. This kid was raped, and you're like, it could have been a blessing. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
That's the sad and sick thing, is that, yes, and I understand the arguments, the supplement arguments for that position.
Okay, do you want to read that again, Burt Reynolds? Or whoever the hell you were.
Who knows? It could have been a blessing in disguise. Maybe a life lesson for a sin you've committed. A reason. Everything is in God's plan. The Bible tells us in the book of Proverbs to lean not on our own understanding. We are not supposed to question the Lord. All I can say is you probably sinned. Accept your punishment and move on. What the fuck?
Seriously.
But I was a kid. Why would God punish a 10-year-old with rape?
What the fuck is wrong with this kid?
Holy shit. Where the fuck do people come up with this shit from?
What the fuck is wrong with you, you fucking piece of shit?
Jesus.
That was sobering.
There is no satisfactory answer to that question.
I know, but it's just it's.
I want to punch this
it's
dude
ridiculous.
in the fucking face.
Yeah, you gonna read this?
God doesn't need a reason to punish you. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Let me read this one here. Hold on, I want to read
Ooh, a
this.
strict divine command theorist. That's fun.
No, I'm not religious at all. I care less about.
No, I'm
religion,
talking
to be
about the
honest with you.
person that I'm reading the quote about. That I'm looking at, where it's like, well, God doesn't need a reason to punish you. If you're saying that, you're talking that basically morality is ontologically subjective and is reliant on the attitudes of God. So that's why what is good is what is consistent with God's nature and character.
Yeah,
And then you just don't have any fucking basis to criticize God or say that me going out and slaughtering a fucking entire nation of people is bad. Because I did exactly what is consistent with God's nature.
yeah. Right. So let him read it. It's
All right, it says being a descendant of Adam is a sin in itself. Genesis 6:5 says that you were born evil. God doesn't need a reason to punish you. You need to pay your tithes
Tides.
and repent. I lost the rest of it here.
I like tits better. You need to pay with your tits, bitch.
being raped is not a reason to question God. Don't use your rape as an excuse to go astray. That's
please.
just wow, dude.
Dude,
I
I'd be
would
flipping out.
love. Hold on, I would love to see Mac try to defend this.
He
I would
does.
love to.
Is this on Facebook or?
This is Mac's view.
Well, no, this was on Facebook, but it's a saved picture. You know, it's a picture I saved because, yeah, fucked up.
What a joke, yo.
This
That guy
is
sucks.
That's
That
why
guy-
I stay
and-
far away from religion as I can.
yeah, me too. I hate religion.
Religion needs to die, like tomorrow. So we
Whereas
can
I go to
fucking-
church every second Sunday.
Well,
That's
that's
a fact.
good for you. But dude, dude, according to every religion, you still go to hell because you're a degenerate in God's eyes.
Actually, not in the faith that I was brought up in, that I eventually rejected.
And what
Like-
faith was that?
Shamanism or some shit.
You're actually close to my father's religious views. He's an animist. But
An atomist.
yes.
Yeah, it means like it's like
Long story
the Native
short,
Americans like believed in shit.
yes.
Like,
Long story short,
shit.
I'm a white Indian. There we go.
Okay.
It's like a spirit animal worship and things.
No, I grew up in the Ukrainian Catholic Church.
So
which
other
is
kid.
Actually,
Okay.
not
No,
Catholic
no,
at
no,
all.
not other kid.
Yes, I'm Jedi. No, I was raised in the Ukrainian Catholic Church, which actually is not Catholic. It's only Catholic in name.
Right.
Orthodoxy.
And no, it's not even Orthodoxy. What happened was during the Soviet occupation of Ukraine, that they had kind of a religious ban on
Well,
practices
yeah.
and
Fucking
all those other things, but they did show a modicum amount of tolerance to Russian Orthodoxy.
Yeah.
So what the Catholic churches in the region did at the time was they pretended to be Orthodox, to basically not draw attention to themselves. And just over a couple of generations, they ended up becoming their own kind of denomination of Christianity. They don't really fit into either Orthodoxy or Christianity. I was confirmed at birth, whereas as far as I'm aware, Orthodox churches don't even practice confirmation. You're baptized and that's it.
I have my communion and my confirmation, and I'm like, dude, you know what? This is enough for me. Bye.
Yeah.
I was
And,
never a believer anyway.
But also, it's like, and the nuns are. We were taught. Our priests could. One thing was, the priests were all married, and their role was basically just to read out the gospel message in the epistles or whatever the message was for that week, and then everyone would turn to the nuns to ask for the explanation of what the priest read out. The nuns were the authority of the church. They were the instructors. They were the teachers. They were who everyone went to, and they were entirely fucking laid back about it. I remember somebody asking about homosexuality in Sunday school, and the nun said, yeah, it's a sin, but so is technically pooping in the city.
Dude, everything is a sin for religion. I mean,
Yeah, they joked that, like, oh, if you're happy and you know it, it's a sin. And the whole point of that they explained was so that if you read like the first part of the Sermon on the Mount, is one way of interpreting it was that God has created this set of rules such that no one can hold anyone else as being lesser than them. You can't hold yourself as being superior because none of you are reaching the goal. You are all equal. And thus you should all be treated equally. And it didn't matter if you're if you're gay, if you're straight, or anything else. It's just treat everybody with the same fucking amount of respect, acknowledgement, and decency that you would anyone else. It was like, it was a very, very chill and very liberal religion. That's probably part of the reason why I still go to church, is that I mostly go just to visit the nuns because they were my teachers for the most of my life. But
yeah, well, I was raised Roman Catholic, and I don't follow it at all.
I was raised Presbyterian.
yeah, like I said, I was raised Catholic, Roman Catholic too, but I'm like, nah, bye.
Some of you filthy non-Christian Catholics here.
Yep.
I luckily came from a non-religious family.
Well, you're one of the lucky ones then.
Yeah, I mean, I do. Don't get me wrong. I do have Christians in my family, but I obviously didn't grow up with that bullshit.
Half of my family's atheist.
But as I've said before, I used to be a former deist.
Fuck that.
So
what I
what's
like is,
going on?
despite my upbringing, I was the first atheist to my family.
I'm not the first. My uncle was an atheist before me.
So wait, if you're an atheist, why go to church? I mean, that's That's contradictory.
It's not contradictory. It's
But you're an atheist, so wouldn't
I'm an atheist, and I
Gnostic
go
better?
because I like to visit the nuns because they give me like fresh baked bread and cookies.
Do they know you're an atheist?
Yeah,
Okay.
can't
they
you visit
know
them
I'm. They know
outside
I'm
the
up in the
church?
gay. I take my boyfriend there. I take my nephews there and my niece, and they don't give a fuck. It's a very relaxed church, a very open church. It's like, yes,
How
you
progressive.
know what? There is a cultural aspect to Christianity at this point where it's like,
Do they?
I grew up with this, and it's at this point it's routine, and I happen to like the nuns, and there are good morals in some of the stories, like the Good Samaritan and things like that. So
Which they probably stole from somewhere else.
maybe,
Well, the
but
Good
the Good
Samaritan they
Samaritan is
stole
actually
from
more profound than
Roman
people give it
culture.
credit for. But
Well, the Good Samaritan was actually stolen from Roman literature at the time. Anyway. So.
probably, like it don't matter. It's just like, why do you celebrate Christmas? Why do you fucking go out and celebrate any ethnic holiday that you might have? It's just tradition. It's a part of your culture. And it's for me, you know what? Going to church is just the same thing.
Well, we usually just celebrate Christmas for the food.
It's
and the
mostly to
presents.
connect myself with a culture that otherwise I would be entirely isolated to, and it's something that I grew up with my whole life. Like I don't believe any of it, and most of the people in the church don't believe any of it. Even the fucking priest doesn't believe that shit.
Then what's the?
It's entirely ceremonial. That's all it is. It's just a ritual that humans habitually do because we are pattern-seeking and pattern-driven individuals.
So they don't question it.
No, we question it all the time. Like as I said, like I know the priest, and you know what? He don't believe Jesus rose from the grave.
But they believe he existed.
Yeah, you believe he existed. It's not unreasonable to think that Jesus existed. At least that there is an
How many
individual
Jesus have existed?
that became mythologized later on. That's not unreasonable. That
Yeah,
happens all the time.
I don't think that Jesus existed, but I don't think it's an unreasonable position to hold.
Okay,
Same
but how
here.
many people? How many Jesus? Okay, look, we could say that Jesus existed because other people throughout history have been called Jesus. So, I mean, you could say a man exists that's named Jesus, but is he the one in the Bible? You
We
know?
can say that with a reasonable amount of confidence that it is likely that there was an individual on whom the stories that the Bible refers to is based that over time became exaggerated when they were told from person to person. There's nothing unreasonable about saying that.
Oh no, I mean, I'm saying that a man could have existed, as you said, could have existed. You know,
That doesn't
given-
mean that, like, oh, the miraculous events actually occurred. No,
Or even that any of the
that's
events in the book that occurred, because we're talking 2,000 years of the telephone game.
pretty well. Exactly why it's like, okay, there's someone on whom these stories are based. That doesn't mean the claims about that person are true.
Even if there was a person that was originally based off of, I think if we were to go back in time, we wouldn't be able to find him. Because what actually happened is probably so much different.
If he hopped in a TARDIS, you'd be able to confirm it.
Hey, you have one. Come on, let's go.
Already been there. It turns out
so-
that I was actually Jesus. I just regenerated after they nailed me to the cross.
Dude, I wouldn't be surprised.
That's why the apostles and the women didn't recognize me when I was risen from the dead, and they thought I was the gardener.
Oh God.
It's like that's the best part about that I love about the Bible is that you could interpret that as the story of a Time Lord.
Exactly.
Wow. Well, I gotta be taking off. I have
to dip out of here too.
I have.
Same here.
Hey, wait, hold on. Stell and Bruni, do you have a Twitter?
Yeah.
Hang on.
It's at Johnny Sanko, the Stalinist brony.
Well, I don't know, so I'm just giving you mine.
All right.
I gotta get on recording to the 4th episode of the anti-Islam series I'm doing.
Oh no, yeah, I have to watch that. Make sure
You
you're
know?
covering that in a good, like, make sure you
Basically,
cover it.
all you need to know is Islam is shit, and they use a different word for respect women.
Yeah, I take it more in the introduction sort of educational thing where I
All right.
educate arguments and stuff like that. That's what I'm trying to do.
That's one area that I really like that I do think is a bit neglected is Islam apologetics. People don't really address that.
All right, I followed you.
Same here.
All right, let me see.
Okay,
Yeah.
Stalinist, what's your answer to the...
All right, I have one. Tony Pose, and I think I'm waiting for one from Oh wait, never mind. It's Foof. Stalin Brony, Paulo,
All right, what'd you want?
and Tony Pros. Is that
That's
you?
right. That's
That's
right.
me.
All right, we're good. Never mind.
All right. All right. What were you saying, Doctor?
I was saying that you say, oh, you address Islam apologetics. What is your answer to the claim that the Quran transcends the literary styles of the Arabic language?
What do you mean by that? What do you mean, like, when a Muslim would say, like, the Quran is designed to be read in the original Arabic, and like, so
No,
it's the
no,
only
no,
way
no,
you can
no.
really interpret it, right?
That's the best part about it is that written in the original Arabic, it isn't limited to fiction, non-fiction, history, prophecy, poetry, parable, or anything along those lines. It transcends all literary styles simultaneously.
Well, I don't know because I haven't read it in the original Arabic, so I don't even know if that's true.
Well, I can assure you it is true, but
Because I don't know Arabic.
I know a bit of it. But
I know a little bit because I like my school has like Arabic classes they're optional that you can go take.
I know what it
That's
is,
like a
but
few.
I personally love the writing of Arabic. Not the language itself, because it sounds like everybody's like choking on a cock.
Yeah.
But-
That's what Farsi sounds like too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of gutturals too. I have a problems with gutturals.
It's like I know, like, you know, the basic responses and shit like that, like, you know, Ilach, 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 Muhammad Rasulullah.
See y'all later.
Yeah.
See ya, forbidden.
Oh, chase that fucker off. But
I'm about to get out of here too.
Bye.
Bye.
see ya. I'll send you the answer to that apologetic because that's a favorite among
Okay.
Islamic apologists.
You
And
email to me or message.
Romeo and Juliet actually refutes it.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
So, you want to leave? Yep, I'm the only one here.
Yep, I'm gonna shut this off. This has been TGIF number 22. Y'all have a good night.